Good morning. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Friday, June 20th. It is 6:28 this morning. And Megan, I do have to say, I have thought of a cow pun for you this morning, Megan.
Oh, did you? Now, what's that cow pun?
That was utterly hilarious.
Utterly? No, that was good. That was good.
If you had said something funny, I could have worked that in, but I didn't
I'm not a comedian. I'm not good at making funny jokes.
So we'll just go from it like that. But Megan, what do we have in store for this for our Friday?
Yeah. I couldn't think of another pun either. But for this Friday, we are going to start off a little bit on the foggier side, seeing that dense fog advisory in place for most of the counties here in Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. And we're looking at temperatures sitting in the 60s. Now, we will see those temperatures warming up throughout the day, but here's what you can expect all across the region. A mixture of those mid-60s, seeing some low 60s across the board too. 63 in Hazard, 60 in Clintwood, 63 in Williamsburg, and 64 in Grundy. But this afternoon, we will see those 80s returning. A mixture of the mid to upper 80s is what you can expect with nice and dry skies throughout the day. So it's going to be an utterly beautiful Friday. Amelia.
Lawrenceburg police are looking for a wanted man who they say ran from them. Officers started looking for James Bixler on Wednesday. He was wearing a white shirt, blue jeans, and a baseball cap. Police now think Bixler has left the Anderson County area. He's not believed to be a threat to the public, but if you see him, you are asked to call 911. 2 people are dead after a crash in Mingo County, West Virginia. This crash happened Tuesday. Police say Kiana Norman was driving when the vehicle went off the road and rolled down a 25-foot hillside. The vehicle landed onto nearby railroad tracks in the Raleigh community. Police say Norman was thrown from the vehicle and that she and her 9-year-old son were not wearing seatbelts. Both were pronounced dead at the scene. A Southern Kentucky man says he and his family were terrified when their neighbors came out of the house and started shooting at them. Police say it started Wednesday night when the suspect started firing guns inside his home, then turned the guns on his neighbor. Outside, it happened on Kentucky 7076 in Wayne County. That's about 10 miles from Monticello. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to the neighbor and has more about these allegations.
When that bullet hit that post, boy, that really shook me up a lot.
Douglas Rednauer says his neighbor Gary Mazaraz began firing at him for what he believes was a disagreement over a proposed property sale.
When he started shooting at me, I didn't know what was going on. I mean, it scared me so bad when that glass and everything flew all over me there on the porch.
The bullet hit a post and shattered a bird feeder, and he's noticed even more holes since then.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But if you look at it, there's a hole, and here's a hole.
Deputies say they were called to Mazaraz's home on Kentucky 776 with reports of an intoxicated man firing multiple shots with relatives inside. They say they found bullet holes in the upstairs floor, in bedroom walls, and in the front door.
I never slept none last night. I mean, I tossed and turned, prayed to God that I was still here, you know.
And I called the Wayne County Jail where Gary Mazaraz is being held on a $100,000 cash bond. I asked if he would like to talk to us to give us his side of the story. At first, he said he did, but then later, he changed his mind. Police say they found multiple guns, including one under a child's bed. Mazaraz was charged with 1 count of attempted murder and a count of wanton endangerment.
I think if he gets out, that it could happen to somebody else, and I don't want to see that to happen.
Sheriff says the investigation continues with more charges pending. In Wayne County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Deputies say when they arrived, the suspect's family members were no longer inside the home and safe from that gunfire. A police chase ended with a man's arrest on DUI and other charges. Sheriff's deputies arrested 30-year-old Elmer Casanello Rodriguez Wednesday night. Deputies tried to pull him over, but he sped away. Rodriguez ran into a home on Willow Branch Road and was arrested. Deputies found 2 small children in his car. They were not wearing seatbelt. He is now being held in the Laurel County Jail. A man is accused of stealing a vehicle in Clay County. Officers with the Manchester Police Department received word about the incident early yesterday. They say they received that word about the theft happening overnight in the East Manchester area. Police say they later found the vehicle at Alvin's gas station. Michael Feldman was taken to the Clay County Detention Center. Yesterday, we learned that Brooks Hauk, one of the men charged in connection with the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, was transferred to another jail ahead of next week's trial. One of the big questions going into this trial is, will Stephen Lawson, who's already been convicted in this case, testify against his son, Joseph Lawson, and Hauk? One legal analyst is leaning toward no, but he admits he also never thought Steve would testify in his own defense. From his perspective, putting Steve on the stand comes down to cost versus benefit.
I think it's intriguing to ask the question. I just think it's unlikely because he's given so many statements and some are inconsistent. I think the defense would tear him apart, and I'm not sure how much he would add, but if he was deeply involved in this, as the first jury thought, then presumably he may have more information.
Hauk's trial in Bowling Green begins Tuesday. New details after a transformer fire at a Harlan substation knocked out power to about 6,600 customers Wednesday morning. Kentucky utility crews responded quickly, de-energizing the equipment and working with Harlan City firefighters to put out the flames. Power was restored to most customers within hours. The cause is still under investigation, but officials say they found a dead squirrel near the damaged transformer and believe it may have sparked that fire. Repairs could take several weeks, but no further outages are expected. A portion of I40 near the Tennessee-North Carolina line is closed due to rock slides and flooding. It stranded several cars and impacted folks who live in the area. TDOT has a goal of getting the road back open in 2 weeks, but says there is a major amount of work to be done. TDOT says there was a total of 4 rock slides. There's several feet of mud left, and the interstate and on-ramps. No one was injured. Harlan County School Board unanimously selected Brett Johnson as the district's 19th superintendent. Officially starting on July 1st with a 4-year contract, he's taking over for Brett Rourke. Johnson brings 24 years of experience in the district, beginning as a middle school math teacher and most recently serving as assistant superintendent and director of pupil personnel.
I look forward to partnering with everyone and continuing the progress to make Harlan County Public Schools the best school district that we can make it.
Johnson says his top priority is continuing current initiatives, including the opening and expansion of a child development center this fall. A former state representative says Kentucky has too many counties, and he's suggesting consolidating them. Adam Koenig of Northern Kentucky points out that of Kentucky's 120 counties, 22 of them have less than 10,000 people. About half have less than 20,000 residents. Yet those counties still have to fill full governments with elected officials and employees to make it function. He suggested county would have to have at least 20,000 people to exist. Today, Governor Andy Beshear will participate in a ribbon cutting in Frankfort. This occasion will be for a new Appalachian Regional Healthcare Mobile Clinic. The governor will be joined by Holly Harris, the president and CEO of ARH, as well as Chief of Staff Rocky Macy. The mobile clinic was funded by the Appalachian Regional Commission and was originally announced in September of 2023. Proposed power rate hikes are on the agenda for the West Virginia Public Service Commission. Appalachian Power is proposing a nearly 15% rate hike to all West Virginia customers. The PSC has been listening to public comments both in person and virtually in the last few days. The PSC denied Appalachian Power's previous increase request. No decision has been made on this new proposal. A Huntington, West Virginia bakery is getting some national recognition. Nomad Bakery in downtown Huntington opened its doors just months before the COVID pandemic. Cut to almost 6 years later, and USA Today named Omada the #1 cake shop in the nation by the Best 10 Readers' Choice Awards. One of the co-owners says he never thought this would happen so early on.
It feels nice, like in a short time, almost like 6 years with all the changes that have happened like within that time, to be able to see like the fruit of the hard work, because it's not just like me, there's a whole team doing hard work for years.
Those with the bakery are still figuring out how they're going to celebrate this achievement. They say they might create a new limited edition flavor or host a community get-together. June is National Cancer Survivors Month. It's a time to celebrate life after cancer. For one breast cancer survivor, life after cancer is about being her own advocate and chasing her entrepreneurial dream. Mickey Stevens now owns and operates Stevens Cookie Company in Richmond. From chocolate chunk to banana pudding, Stevens is whipping up batches, taking orders, and bringing smiles to sweets lovers near and far.
This is literally something I prayed about because I knew I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what. Take time to enjoy life. I thank God for just the flowers. I mean, you see things different. So to all my survivor friends, we got this.
Stevens' breast cancer was caught early on. She had 2 lumpections and was cancer-free prior to undergoing chemo and radiation. Well, we are less than 2 weeks away from the annual WYMT Summer Blood Drive. It's happening from 3 until 7 on Wednesday, July 2nd, right outside of our station at 199 Black Gold Boulevard. Super hard to miss. You have to be at least 17 years old to donate, but if you're 16, you can have parental consent to donate. But if you do donate, you'll get a limited edition Kentucky Donor t-shirt while those supplies last. Food City is giving you a chance to win a Blackstone grill and more. 12 participants will also win a Pepsi and Frito-Lay prize pack as well as a Food City gift card. It's part of Food City's Pepsi and Frito-Lay Cool Chips and Crispy Chips sweepstakes. To register and see those official rules, you can go to wymt.com/contests. You do have to be at least 18 years old and in the WYMT viewing area to be eligible. Those sweepstakes ending July 8th.
We are still watching that fog this morning. Dense fog across the region. We're under that dense fog advisory for most of the counties, so just be careful if you're heading out in some of those lower visibility areas. This morning we will be looking at a break from the rain that will continue all day long, seeing a mixture of some partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies as we're heading throughout the day. High temperatures will also be warming up as we sit into the mid to upper 80s, a little bit cooler for some of our Virginia counties, but with that sunshine, it's definitely going to be a warm day. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Here's a look at that travel forecast. Again, we're going to see that fog this morning, temperatures in the 60s. By lunchtime, we're looking at the mid 70s, and then by the time we're heading into the afternoon and evening hours, we'll start to cool down just a little bit, and the temperatures will be in the low 80s. Amelia.
Well, thank you for joining Mountain News this morning at 6:41.